You want to get into Occidental College, which is in Los Angeles. I want to help you do it. My name is Craig Meister. Occidental is sometimes known as Oxy. And you can learn more about me, by the way, at my website, collegemeister.com. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. I want to help you get into Occidental. Let's discuss the ways in which you can really seal the deal. It's very doable if you are serious about earning your way into this Los Angeles liberal arts college. Tip number one, below this video is a link to my classic article, How to Get into the Ivy League Ethically. I want you to read it from top to bottom, start to finish, because even though Occidental is not an Ivy League college, this is going to help you set the table so that by the first day of your 12th grade year, your senior year in high school, you're going to have done the necessary prerequisites in order to have a fighting chance of earning your way into a preeminent institution like Occidental College, also known as Oxy. Did you know that Barack Obama, the former president of the United States, actually attended Oxy before he transferred to Columbia? Very interesting. Read that article because, again, that article is going to help you set the table and go into 12th grade year with the very best chance of getting into Occidental. Tip number two. Occidental College really does value students who are able to communicate effectively and articulately throughout their application. So I will just give a shout out to a topic we will not be discussing in any more depth in this video, which is my previous videos on the topic of the Common Application essay. You want to take that essay seriously. That is an essay that's going to go to all the schools you apply to on the Common App, and hopefully you're applying also to Oxy on the Common App. And so below this video are links to my previous videos about how you can strategically pick the right Common App prompt for you and differentiate yourself in the process, whereas you can also learn from reviewing those videos and watching them carefully how you can make sure not to stumble on common pitfalls that many students do stumble on when they are drafting their Common Application essay. Tip number three, I talked about writing a moment ago with the Common App essay. I'm going to talk about it again with the supplement of Occidental College. They allow you at Occidental to upload a full-fledged PDF resume elaborating on all of your extracurricular exploits from the summer after 8th grade up until the present day. You would be a fool not to take Occidental up on the opportunity to upload a resume to its supplement. That doesn't mean you're not going to complete the Common Apps activities page. You absolutely should complete the Common Apps activities page to the best of your ability, but Occidental recognizes the fact that the Common Apps activities page is quite skeletal in nature. You do not have many characters with which to work. Many students have much more to say and elaborate on regarding their extracurricular accomplishments than can fit into the very tight activities page of the Common App. Don't be the student who just does the minimum on the Common App activities page and then just opts not to upload an optional resume to the Occidental supplement. You want to be the type of student who goes big or goes home. Going big is getting into Occidental. And by doing an extracurricular resume and then uploading it to your Occidental supplement to the Common Application, you're going to be putting your best foot forward and able to elaborate on and skillfully describe the depth and breadth of what you've accomplished in the extracurricular realm throughout your high school career and the summers between each grade in high school. You may be asking, Craig, how do I put together the right format for my extracurricular resume that I'm going to be uploading to the Occidental supplement to the Common App? Well, I'm so glad you asked. And even if you didn't ask, you would be wise to ask. Below this video is a link to my very short course of how to build an extraordinary extracurricular resume. Take it. It's well worth the several dollars it costs to buy or rent it because it is going to help you focus in on the type of content you need to produce and the way in which I would recommend you structure such a resume so as to differentiate yourself positively, not just in terms of substance in that resume, but also in terms of style, so that colleges can quickly evaluate and understand and digest what it is you have accomplished and why it was valuable for them to learn more about you in such a resume, as opposed to blowing the opportunity by putting together a resume in the wrong format or sharing the wrong content. So definitely take that short course for a school like Occidental, because I would recommend no longer than a 2-page extracurricular resume upload to that optional upload section of the Occidental supplement. But anywhere from 1 to 2-page resume, you can absolutely include. Anything over that, you're doing something wrong. I've worked with the most talented students over the past 17 years, and no one has needed more than a 2-page resume. So if you format it right, all of which is explained in that particular course, you are going to do a great job in augmenting whatever you already have shared on the activities page of the Common Application, and you'll be doing so again on an upload in the supplement to the Occidental, on the supplement for Occidental for the Common Application. My next tip has to do with more writing. Occidental College in the 2023-2024 admissions cycle has released its most up-to-date supplemental short essay prompts, and you are asked to complete 3 short essay prompts on the Oxy or Occidental supplement to the Common Application. Prompt number 1, why are you applying to Occidental? Why do you think Occidental is the right place for you to pursue your interests? I love this question. Basically, you have 150 to 200 words to respond to why you're a great fit for Occidental and why Occidental is a great fit for you. You want to get in the weeds. You want to get specific with your response. You can't write a book here. You only have 200 words or so, but you want very much to pick on 2, maybe 3 points that paint a picture and underscore why this is a marriage made in heaven. You have values that align with Occidental, and Occidental has values that align with you, but you need to draw on specific points to prove it. You can't just say, I fell in love when I first stepped foot on the Occidental campus. You need to get deeper into specific attributes of the Occidental campus that are right for you and why. And you need to draw a little bit on your past and also paint a picture a little bit of your future engaging in opportunities at Occidental in order to really seal the deal in this particular prompt. When I say the campus, don't just necessarily allude to the actual structure or aesthetic of the campus. I would go farther than that. I would absolutely say that you should maybe mention a professor's name or particular major that really intrigues you. But again, you can't just say, oh, I really want to study history at Occidental. Almost every liberal arts college offers history. You got to get more specific than just throwing out platitudes about I really want to study this or I really want to be in a small liberal arts environment, because again, that could apply to many schools. You have to get much more specific, maybe about a particular concentration or research opportunity or institute that exists on the Occidental campus, or some way in which you're going to augment your Occidental education by being in the heart of Los Angeles as a student for 4 years. You got to get in the weeds, like I said, and get hyper specific so that by the time they finish reading your 200-word final draft, they have a sense that you were made for Occidental and Occidental is made for you. How would I structure the short essay? Well, like I always say, you should have a 1-sentence thesis in a short essay like this, where you introduce the main points you're going to be proving in the body, a 1-paragraph body, and then a 1-sentence or 2 conclusion. Again, your job is by the last quarter of this short answer, if not earlier, you want to be able to start painting a picture of you engaging in or with particular people or opportunities that only exist at Occidental College. So again, you've got to get hyper specific and structure this in a relatively traditional way in order to be as efficient with your words as you possibly can be. You never want to submit a first draft. You got to draft this out several times, and most likely your earlier drafts are going to be 500 words or 600 words, and you're going to have to narrow it down to the best 200 words for your final draft for that first prompt that you must respond to. Next prompt is actually a choice between 3 different prompts. So you have 300 words with which to respond to one of the following 3 prompts. Prompt number 1, Oxy's central mission emphasizes the value of community amidst diversity. What do you value in a community, and how do you see your perspectives and life experiences enhancing it? Again, this is sort of like an adjunct to the first question. If you choose this particular one, my recommendation would be to, again, show yourself actually providing value added on the Occidental campus by engaging in a way where you're going to be sharing your unique perspective and also relishing the opportunity to learn from people who think or act or come from a world very different than yours. And so that's a sort of another essay opportunity for you to show sort of this give and take where you add to the diversity mix, but you also want to learn from people who don't think like you, who don't act like you, who don't come from where you come from. And so that would be a really great opportunity to emphasize, something you feel like you have to bring to the table that others may not, but also don't make it just about you. Also explain what some aspect of the Occidental community that you value. Because they ask, what do you value in a community? Now, again, I'm assuming it's going to probably dovetail with diversity in one way, shape, or form here. But if there are other things that you value in the Occidental community that you want to get across that you could not include in your first response, you could, of course, mention it here while also taking the opportunity to share something you would add in that vein that would give back to the Occidental community. Again, how would you structure this essay? You have more words with which to work on this one than the first question, which is required question. This question is actually an optional one. You have two other options. But regardless of what are the options you choose for the sort of second essay you write, because you have 300 words, you can maybe give a 2 or 3 sentence intro, then a 1 longer paragraph body that proves the intro thesis, and then a conclusion that goes a step beyond the thesis and says something new and intriguing that makes the reader not just feel like you're regurgitating the intro or thesis again in new words, but actually saying something new, thoughtful, thought-provoking. But maybe you don't want to get into the thicket of diversity. Maybe you don't feel like you are going to add something so unique and therefore you don't want to choose this particular one, or you feel like you just don't want to get into the topic of diversity. That's your right. So maybe you would want to choose for your 300-word Oxy essay this second optional prompt, which would be briefly describe a current event or social movement that is affecting a place that is important to you. Describe its significance to you and the future implications for that community. How do you anticipate an Oxy education helping you better understand and respond to that event or movement? This very much, again, is an opportunity for you to show yourself on Occidental's campus, gaining from a very specific opportunity or opportunities that will help you better advocate for or support the social movement or support the community or place that is dealing with the current event that you ultimately ground this essay in. Maybe your school community has currently been dealing with issues related to gender rights, or maybe the community you live in has poisonous water and you are dealing with how to advocate through the government to get remediation put in place so that people can have clean drinking water for showering, but also for drinking and so forth. And you need to be able to show in this particular response how an Occidental education will help you better resolve this issue if you were put into the position of being able to resolve this issue in the future. How is it going to empower you in order to support your friends back home or care for a particular place or community that means a lot to you even if you don't live there? So again, briefly describe a current event or social movement that is affecting a place that's important to you, describe its significance to you, and the future implications for that community. That should only be roughly 100 words max of this 300-word essay, your response to that first portion of the prompt. Then, how do you anticipate an Oxy education helping you better understand and respond to that event? Another great opportunity, even if it doesn't relate to your major, to explain the courses you would take or the experiential learning you would engage in as an Oxy student in order to become more knowledgeable about something related to that topic or event or social movement, so that moving forward, you are going to be able to harness that new knowledge and turn it around and use it to improve or fix that event or build upon that social movement that is affecting the place that is important to you. So you have to do quite a bit there, but in terms of, again, how you would structure it, very typical way of structuring it, like I said earlier, for the other prompts. The third option for sort of your second and your only really big essay, but your 300-word essay, it's not even that big compared to other colleges, but 300 words is still the longest of the Oxy supplemental essays. Your third option would be research is an integral part of an Oxy education. Completing a senior comprehensive is a requirement of every Oxy student, and there are a myriad of opportunities for research throughout your 4 years. Imagine you were just awarded one of our research grants for a project of your choice. What are you researching and why? Point number one on this, they use myriad wrong. Either very smart people over at Oxy, but they should have just simply said, every Oxy student, and there are myriad opportunities, not a myriad of opportunities, but that's just my pet peeve because I'm an English perfectionist. But in any case, you definitely want to understand, if you're going to respond to this prompt as your second essay, you must understand what a senior comprehensive is. You must also research a little bit the opportunities for research that exist currently at Oxy so that you can come empowered with the knowledge you need to really speak authoritatively in your response. This essay is tailor-made for students who really do want to dive headfirst into research into a particular topic area and are just craving that opportunity. Maybe you've already engaged in research through your IB DP course curriculum at your school, or maybe you just are a natural born researcher, you can engage in AP research. Who knows what the case may be, but if you are a natural born researcher and you feel like you could authoritatively respond in 300 words to why you're really interested in a particular research opportunity and why, and you have now the research grants to back you up for your project of your choice at Occidental, which again, this opportunity is, you're going to research the senior comprehensive and learn how to sort of navigate discussing how that would happen, how you would make that work. You have a great opportunity here to basically produce an abstract, if you will, of what your goals are, why you're so passionate about this. And again, I would thread the needle by also explaining particular places you would turn to on Occidental's campus in order to research what you want to research. So actually name drop a particular lab or particular professor you see yourself being able to work in harmony with based off of your research into how that research could most effectively be done as an undergraduate during your time at Occidental College. So again, all of these prompts are great opportunities to infuse a sentence or two, if not more, depending on the prompt, describing and showing you, not just telling, but showing you through your choice of words as an active, engaged, proactive, assertive Occidental undergraduate. Don't let them have to connect the dots. You can connect the dots for them on the admissions committee by actually showing yourself engaging with particular people in particular parts of campus or labs or study centers, or going to a particular library because that's the library that has this type of content that you would want to research. So again, this is a great opportunity for you. Maybe you'll go off campus with a professor. Maybe you'll engage in a study abroad opportunity that's annual on campus. Who knows? But the more specific you can get with your response, the more likely the Oxy Admissions Committee will really believe that you've done your homework, because you have, and are convinced that you would be a wonderful fit because you already have started laying out your future and what it would look like on Occidental's campus. And then the final required short essay is really not an essay at all. It's 20 words, just 20. What is the first song you would play for your Oxy roommate on move-in day? Again, what is the first song you would play for your Oxy roommate on move-in day? There is no right or wrong answer to this or any of the other questions, but I definitely want you to think long and hard about if there is a particular song that brings you joy, a particular song that you feel like aligns with your value system. Don't just necessarily pick whatever is most popular right now on the pop radio that you listen to. Pick something that really means a lot to you and maybe wouldn't be as trendy, because trendy will probably be used quite a bit in current students' responses. So maybe pick something from a past decade or a genre that maybe is not as popular. Again, you don't want to be artificial, you want to be authentic, so don't pick something just for its randomness, but definitely don't just necessarily pick something that is in the current top 20 hits. Think long and hard about a song that you feel like you have a personal connection to in one way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to be something, even a new song. It could be a song from the year you were born, and maybe your parents play it for you every one of your birthdays, and it reminds you of home. So now that you're away from home, this indicates that you really value family, and you would play it in that case. But maybe there's a song that you remember playing at the end of your hockey championship with your best friends, and you feel like that's a song that you would also want to share with your roommate because it indicates, again, how important hockey is to you and how hard work really does pay off, i.e. you won your hockey championship. So there's any number of ways to infuse a song here that has greater meaning to you. But again, you only have 20 words, so you're going to have to be very crisp and concise with stating the word and only, not the word, the song. Let's say it's 4 or 5 words max, then you have about 15 words with which to explain why you would play that song to your friend. And again, this just gives sort of a color to your personality. Your application will not rise or fall on this, or it definitely won't fall on this, but maybe it will rise on this because, again, if you pick something that is eccentric enough or unusual enough or shares a facet of yourself that you just have not shared before, you could, of course, become far more endearing as an applicant by the choice that you have here. But otherwise, they're just trying to get to know you a little bit better as a person and not just as a student, and this is a wonderful opportunity for you to do just that. I have not mentioned it yet, but another tip I would definitely share is Oxy interviews. It is not required, but it can, of course, help your application if you engage in an interview with a student volunteer on campus or virtually with a member of Oxy's alumni community. I would definitely encourage you to interview. I always say there is no such thing as a wasted interview. So for a school like Oxy that does invite you to interview with them during the application process, starting in the fall of your senior year, go for it. You cannot fail an interview as long as you've done your research into the college and you come coiffed and professional, either virtually or in person, and ready to engage in a short conversation about what you like about Occidental and curious to learn more about Occidental. It's a give and take conversation opportunity. Definitely do it. And again, it's an opportunity for someone at Occidental or representing Occidental to get to know you better as well. And if you do really well in an interview, it can help your application a lot. Again, I think the only way you can really fail an interview is if you don't do it. So once you're engaging in it, it's a give and take in information. It's a way for them to learn more about you. So hype yourself up to engage with Oxy in person or virtually in the format of an interview, because by doing so, that could definitely help your application and help educate you more about whether or not Oxy should remain your first choice. And again, it's a great opportunity to sell yourself. If you do interview, I would definitely email the interviewer your resume before the interview, as well as if it's in person, bring 2 copies of your interview, one for you and one for the interviewer, so that in the event you do feel like a deer in headlights, you could always look down at that extracurricular resume that you're already producing for the supplement to the Common App for Oxy, and you can look down and say, oh yeah, let's talk about this time I did this, and you'll have sort of a cliff notes of your greatest hits staring you in the face, and you're also going to give the interviewer a copy of that if it's in person, or at least email the interviewer that if it's virtual, so that in the event they too don't have much to share or don't have many questions, maybe they're having a hard day or they didn't prepare or they're having interviews back to back, they too could theoretically look down at that resume and say, oh, tell me about the time you were in this play, or tell me about this amazing research you did last summer. If it's on the resume as an extracurricular activity, you're basically feeding them, lobbing them basically balls that you can hit out of the park, since you know very well what you've done on that extracurricular resume. So that's a nice little tip in order to maybe lower the temperature of any anxiety you may have to engage in an interview at a school that is high on your list. Again, my name is Craig Meister, the College Meister. You can go to my website, collegemeister.com, to learn more about me. I hope you found this, this video helpful. And again, if you want to learn more about how you can work with me and I can help you put together the best college applications possible, go to my website, collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I wish you the very best of luck on your application for admission to Occidental College.